Sorry about the technical difficulties there. While we're dealing with this, Derek, can you go ahead and start? I know that you were diagnosed way back in 1997, and talk a little bit about what's going on. We have some screen here, a little screen here that we're going to be popping up for you. Go right ahead.
Okay. First of all, I agree with Scott. Beating this disease will not happen on its own. You're going to have to be proactive. My good fortune, looking back, is at first it was a neuromuscular disorder, and didn't know what was going on. I'm sure most of you have gone through that phase. But I stumbled into some alternative therapies before I was diagnosed, and I knew they were helping, primarily homeopathy. I've been seeing the same homeopath for probably close to 25 years now. So when I was diagnosed, it was tough, but I felt things were improving, and I didn't feel probably as desperate to find a solution. So I just kept doing what I was doing. I really didn't bother with what the neurologist told me. And I'm sure most of you have been told, just go home, get your affairs in order, and that was it. Now, Tish Scott and I probably met close to 7 years ago. And in fact, 6 years ago, right about now, they came up. I'm in Canada, about halfway between Toronto and Montreal. And they came up and filmed me and my homeopath. And so I just want to say, I don't believe the passion, enthusiasm that they have to help people with ALS. If you want to see what I've done, my story, it's the January 2018 blog on healingals.org. And so that's probably my symptoms. I have them all. I would like to believe, I do believe, most of them are much better. I'm 67 years old, so I've gotten older. So my reference, things started going wonky at about age 40. So my reference to whatever normal was is quite a while ago. So I don't expect to do the things I did then. Again, I can't believe they put together a 26-week teleconferences, and you're going to hear from a lot of people. I was on a soapbox when I was diagnosed initially, thinking what I was doing could help everybody. You're going to have to be willing to try different things. What I've realized now is what works for one may not work for another. Now, I'd probably use this up my time for talking about me. I know there's some Canadian members, people on this teleconference, video conference, and I want to tell you about a group. I'm involved with a few groups. I have been involved with ALS Canada, but right now there's a group of people, most of them with ALS in Canada, and it's called ALS Action Canada. And lots of good things are happening out there, but these people, myself included, feel they're not happening fast enough. And I'm referring to red tape and getting drugs like Radicava pushed through the system so people have access to it. Now, I think Tish put out I'm on my phone. Oh, I see it. It's kind of small. If you want to see what they're doing, go to any of these social media platforms, and you'll be able to find out more. Right now, what's really important is Dean Gosselin. He's early 30s, ex-military, diagnosed at age 29. He's going to be at the Canadian ALS caucus meeting in Ottawa this week. And he's also in Canada, rather than having local walks, there's a virtual walk next Sunday to raise money, awareness for ALS in Canada. And he will be doing a 28-hour walk. The significance of 28 hours is it's about 1,700 minutes. And what he calculated was that the time it took for the red tape to get Radicava approved, close to 1,700 people with ALS in Canada died. So that's where the 1,700 minutes, 28 hours comes from. Now I'm about...
if I could interrupt you, if you could just let us know what, even though we're really into activity, would you take Radicava personally?
I don't know. I'm the only one available when I was diagnosed was Riluzole or Rilutech. It gave 3 extra months. I said, whoop-de-doo. Radicava, and I'm not telling anybody what to take, and what not to take, but apparently it gives like 30% more time. Whether it's good or bad time, I don't know. But when the normal prognosis is 2 to 5 years, it's not giving you much more time. They're both drugs. I have no desire to try.
Yeah, I think it's really important to mention to everybody. By the way, thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Tish.
The reason, and Derek has a birthday party to go to as well, so he won't be around for Q&A, but he will be around another week. I also want to thank Derek because he's really good on Facebook. You'll see him around on Facebook, but it's kind of nice to be able to see who he is, which is fantastic. So thank you so much. The other thing is...
my family's not here yet. So
they're not? Oh, good. So you'll stick around for a little while. Fantastic. So the only thing that I would add, if you go to healingals.org, Kate Cherry wrote a thing on Radicava and side effects, and then talked to one medical professional. Kay, you happen to be on right now? See if I can find her. Kay Cherry's on.
Did you say Carol?
No, Kay Cherry.
Kay, okay.
No, she's not. She was having internet issues. Otherwise, she would be doing this presentation with me today. They were saying with men especially, apparently the side effects are worse than the benefits with Radicava. You guys have to make your own decisions, but I did want to put my 2 cents in there. And you do want to read Kay's blog and do a lot of research on side effects like liver damage and things like that, because we're all basically, what this group is for, it's up to you if you take medications. But we're really focusing on holistic, and what we find out is that so far all of the drugs give temporary benefits, and the holistic route tends to give permanent benefits. That is our observation from 30 ALS reversals. So just to let you know, none of our ALS reversals did it with drugs, although some took drugs temporarily, just to be very clear on that.
And make sure, if you are taking the drug, monitoring your liver is very important, because your liver is going to help you quite a bit. And those drugs have a tendency to start deteriorating that liver. That's why you have to monitor your liver so closely. Just wanted to add that. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to actually close this one out and get my Word document up. Okay, can everybody see my Word document? Scott, can you see that up there now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the next thing. Thank you so much again, Derek.
Thank you for having me.
So this is basically week 2. This is a 26-week course. It's a little bit ambitious, but in 30 years, getting to know 30 reversals, we've gotten a pretty good idea of what people have done in general. And we've been working on this for 10 years, and we would like to share with people what we've learned. And one of the things that we figured out, is that one-on-one is a very inefficient way to help people. I tend to spend 3 to 4 hours a day with pals, virtually every day, and it's not an efficient way to present the information. So this is what we're going to work on. We do anticipate reversals from this group. Our goal is to have 100 reversals from this group that is watching. Now, we hope that this group right now will grow to be over 1,000 so we can get those 100 reversals. So our goal is 200 reversals by 2022. You can check and see week 1 for details on how we're going to achieve that. So we will be posting. We haven't posted week 1 yet. Hopefully within the next few days, we'll be able to get week 1 and 2. There will be a new Healing ALS website. This is really exciting. We want to provide all the tools that you need to reverse ALS, and everybody's path is different. Each one of our 30 ALS reversals healed using different methodologies. So the idea is that we will have a knowledge base created by this community. There will be more information in the coming weeks. This course conference recording should be out within the next few weeks. There will be a book and the docu-series, book out by the fall, docu-series out by the end of the year, 2021. And we do have a Healing Advocates YouTube channel, which has a lot of ALS reversals on it. And you guys are going to be sharing with each other. Special thanks this week, by the way. Gabby Fay is our volunteer coordinator. She will be also doing Q&A today. She spent a whole day, like 6 or 7 hours, I don't know, but it was a long time, which saved me 6 or 7 hours of work this week. Durad Sukar was a huge help with our website this week. So I just wanted to thank those 2 volunteers in particular this week. I forgot to put on the poll before we came on here. So you guys, I think you have little faces. You can, I'm going to ask you who did their homework this week. And you can do, if you did your homework from last week, I'm going to stop the share for a second. You can do these little emojis, reactions. I want you to do a little thumbs up if who did their homework this week. So bunch of thumbs up. Good. Fantastic. Beautiful. Great. Thank you. So it also isn't really a fair question because I also didn't post the homework. So we'll get that everything posted by next week. So you will have the homework every week, and I'll go over that at the end. So, you know, just to let you know that keep an eye out for reversals. And a couple people have given me a couple this week. So, even though the people that you don't see, you'll be able to see that.
Okay.
Okay, and everyone mute yourself except for myself and Scott. So I don't have to mute everybody. Otherwise, we're going to do another mute all. So save me doing a mute all. Okay, today's topic, where do I start? And how do I find a medical professional? So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can follow me, okay? So the where do I start document, hoping I can find this, minimize that, trying to close this out, minimize that, okay. We'll go to here, go to, I'm going to go to healingals.org. So this is basically how you get to where do I start document. You go to healingals.org right here. You're going to click the green button called How Do I Heal ALS? Okay. Then if you are not a member, please get members access now. If you're not a member, if you are a member, great, because you will not be able to see the recordings unless you're a member. It is free. So, okay, where do I start? Click here for where do I start. Okay, so this is the checklist for where do I start. So if you want to really quickly get to that where do I start, how do I heal ALS? Click on the where do I start document. This is a very basic checklist. You guys, it's going to take you a couple of months to get through this list. Please take one step at a time. I'm just going to go over the basics, build belief, and I'm going to let you do this yourselves. It's just very important. You guys can print out this list and start checking it off. We put little check marks here so people could print it out and start checking things off. If you are from a different country, please copy and paste it into your Google Translate and then print it out. So in your own language. So this should be pretty easy to do. Notice here, we have a few things. There's ALS Winners, shackle.org, ericaswinning.com. These have a lot of information. If you'd like some one-on-one, please get on Kay and Kim Cherry's schedule. Go to alswinners.com and go to their contact form and say you'd like to schedule an appointment to do a little bit of one-on-one. But we expect you guys, this is really important. Take charge of your own health. Print this up, start working on it. But it's kind of nice to meet ALS Reversal, so get on their schedule, but also come here. You're going to meet ALS Reversals every week on this call. So we're trying to take the burden off of Kim and Kay, Mark and Lisa, myself, and all the people that have been coaching PALS.
And it's important to build your own support team. We didn't talk about that. Assembling your team is very important. You want to surround yourself with good, positive mental attitude people that keep you going in the right direction. It's too easy to get depressed down in this disease. We want to get up out of that depression, and we want to stay positive and keep that beacon of light coming to you. Sorry about that. I just wanted to mention that, Tish. Go right ahead.
Great. So take one step at a time and be patient. Please don't get overwhelmed. Just check these boxes off one at a time. If you're only able to check off 1 or 2 boxes in a week, great. Fantastic. Give yourself a kudos. Do it as you can. So all of these things take time. All right. We are going to discuss, this is how you get to the document, how to find and work with a medical professional, which is our next topic, and I'll show you that in a minute. Just want to go over a few things. This is a list of everything to eliminate. Here's a list of everything to add. I spoke to 2 people this week on B12. Take a good B12 plus additional B12. We learned this from McFinn. If your B12 is McFinn's B12 was in the 200 range, his naturopath said, hey, if you want to heal from ALS, your B12 better be in the 700 or 800 range if you want to grow new neurons. So just because 211 is in the quote-unquote reference range, don't believe it, okay? You need to take additional B12 to get it up at least into the 700 or 800 range. So I talked to 2 people this week who have been diagnosed for some time with ALS, and no one had made sure that their B12 was up. Guess what? It's not up to your doctor to do that. It's up to you.
And a lot of doctors, what I want to mention is a lot of doctors, they'll take you to the level. You need to be beyond the norm, quote unquote, level. We're at the reversing stage, not the maintaining stage. So just because basic and normal is maintaining, we want to make sure we optimize, just to let you know. Go right ahead.
Okay. Vitamin D3 is another very common deficiency among PALS. Please read through all this list. Okay, another one is power of the mind. We have studied 30 ALS reversals, over 30, and every single one, like 100%, said the mind is at least 50%. So if 100% of our ALS reversals says the mind is 50%, spend as much time researching the mind as you do researching the body. So this is another document right here. Why emotional healing helps reverse ALS. Read this document. Go through and take a look. There's a lot of really good information that we've collected over the past 10 years. Okay? There's another one, and again, don't get discouraged when things don't work. So here's one, second one. Doctors, how thoughts affect healing. 3 doctors are really good on mind-body. This is Dr. Joe Dispenza. This is Bruce Lipton. And this, we will have a broken link volunteer who's going to help us fix broken links. And this is one of them. But remember, this is Greg Braden. Go on YouTube, find another video of Greg Braden until we find another one to put up here. But this is up to you to do your research. So this is really... There's a lot of amazing information on this website that a lot of people haven't really looked at. Here's some good reference material to start. By the way, here's another broken link. I found this when I was testing this morning. Erica's winning. Obviously, there's a typo here, and I'm going to go right now The site can't be reached. Please don't give up when you get to a site that can't be reached. Just go to Eric is winning. If there's a broken link, and we'll load it up. Just a second. It was working earlier. Just a second.
It's working, Tish. I got it.
I don't know why it's not working right now, but there it goes. And here's his
great,
regimen
Carol.
outline. So it said regimen.hell. It was a typo, but again, this website is amazing. Here's his regimen number 3, and this is all of the things Eric did. This is an incredible amount of information. There's so much information. Again, add one step at a time, but you've got this. I'm going to go to shackle.org. Because again, this is reference. You guys have to go here and explore. Here's Stephen Shackle, diagnosed in 1994 or 1995. Okay, and here is Kim and Chase K. Cherry's site, which is ALS Winners. Okay, and check out their blog. So I'm going to go Mayor, link to updates and all indexes. Here's their 2020 updates, their 2021, all the way back. They have ALS all the way since 2014. So check on this amazing amount of information that's there. Again, it's going to take you months to get through this. Just do a little bit at a time each week. Okay, don't feel like you can't. So, all right, let's go back to healingals.org. Okay, so that's basically it. I'm going to go to topic 2, which is how to find a medical professional. So here we are, how to find and work with a medical professional, right? Again, from this document here, how to find and work with a medical professional. Look, this is the deal with a medical professional. You are in charge. And that's in the last document we discussed. It's very important. Your team and any medical professional you work with is an advisor. If you are not 100% comfortable with what the holistic medical professional suggests to you, do say, okay, take whatever things that they're suggesting, you can take them home with you. But before you take that first suggestion, read about it. Make sure you're 100% comfortable with taking everything you're taking. Suppose they give you 5 things that week and you're comfortable with 3 of them. Send them an email, make a phone call and say, I'm a little confused about these other 2. Tell me why I should take them because I did a little research and I'm worried about side effects. So don't take anything until you are 100% comfortable. You are in charge of your health, and you are also using them as your advisor. You are the president, the team around you, your spouse, your children, your siblings, your medical professionals are up to you. There's a lot of really good information. If you are not 100% comfortable with a medical professional, if they make you feel stupid, change medical professionals. The good ones will say, I don't know about that if you bring them a suggestion, but let me check it out and get back to you.
And get your caregiver working on your team, not just providing you care, coming in and leaving and coming out. Bring them on board so you guys work together as a team as you're with your holistic medical professional. So you guys are a team together.
Absolutely. Right here, you're going to see 3 sites where you could look for a medical professional in your area. Get referrals, make phone calls, look at their website, and call the office itself for more information before you choose. Carol, I was impressed with her because she went through a series of medical professionals. Sometimes what you're going to find, and this is very common among all our reversals, there might be one that's really good with nutrition and supplements, but not so good with detox. You might find a different one to work with on detox. You might work with one for 6 months and say, you know what, I feel like I've learned all I can from this one. Let me go work with a different one for a while, see how that goes. Remember, you're in charge. So that's the end of my little presentation. And before we start the Q&A, I'm going to get Margot on, which is really exciting. I need to find her and unmute her. Everyone else should stay meeting. Margot, I don't know how to unmute you because you're not under Margot. You're under a different name.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to get the slideshow up again. Hold on.
Okay.
Share screen. Get my slideshow back. Share. Oops, wrong one. Hold it. Wrong PowerPoint presentation file. There we go. And here's Margot. Okay, and I should be able to do slideshow. Slideshow from current slide. Great. Okay. So Margot, welcome. Margot was diagnosed in 2018, and she is one of these people that we call an ALS reversal in progress. We hope that we will have more of you. Again, after our volunteer meeting on Monday, we'll get an email for someone to collect these ALS reversals in progress so that you guys can get on the agenda, the people that are having really good results. So I happen to be talking to Margot recently, and she's getting good results. So take her away, Margot.
Hello, everybody.
A little bit louder, Margot.
Hello, everybody. Is that better?
Yes, just nice and loud. Yep.
Okay. Some of this may be redundant for those of you who attended last Sunday's meeting, but I'll repeat it anyway for the benefit of those who were not present. As this PowerPoint slide reads, I was diagnosed with ALS in 2018. Actually, it was in August, but no matter. And like so many of you, I was just, horrified about the diagnosis. I felt lost, didn't know which way to turn, and was diagnosed at the ALS clinic at Duke. And just started going downhill. The legs, I could barely walk. Then I'd go from maybe walking a little bit to not walking at all. And at this point, I'm in a wheelchair. Lost out on some good physical therapy during the stay-at-home pandemic, and also continued to go to my chiropractor. But anyway, here's where I am now. I know I only have 5 minutes, Tish. She's looking at the clock. I started really going downhill fast back in November. I lost weight, and I'm not a big person to begin with. My normal weight is about 140, and I dropped down to 120 pounds. I didn't know really what to eat. I was experimenting with so many things. Anyway, back in November, my hands became very brittle and weak. They hurt to the touch. The same with my feet. When my husband would put on my leg braces, they hurt to the touch. And we just had such a rough time. I really started, thinking about making plans for, taking care of my business, because I didn't think I was going to be around much longer. Anyway, a breakthrough for me was when I found a different, I had one, but I found a different kinesiologist, and she has just been great. She believes in Chinese medicine, and she also has provided some wonderful supplements for me to take that have really helped. At that time, back in November, I could not brush my teeth. Now I can. I could not clean myself in the bathroom. Now I can. I had very low energy. The energy has improved, and I also attribute some of that to the fact that I'm taking the Leap to Be Fit twice a day. I've had stomach issues all my life, vacillating between IBS and constipation, and now I'm pooping at least 2 to 3 times a day. I did, Tish, you went to the next slide, but I think I covered everything on the other one. Yeah, okay, here we are now. Okay, all right, I mentioned I was still in the wheelchair, so we covered that. Thank you. Next slide. Thank you. I think it's the second one. Here we are. I did a lot of research on my own. I did change my diet to eliminate all of the things that they tell you to during the dairy, the corn, and all of the other things. I saw an acupuncturist for a short period of time. I've always seen a chiropractor and had physical therapy throughout this disease since the diagnosis. Um, I also found my own supplements. This is something I really want to impress upon you guys. Cat's claw. What is it? If you go to Anthony William, and that's a William without an S, and his medical medium, and read about how he is such a big fan and proponent of cat's claw. It helps to boost the immune system. And let me add this. My chiropractor told me that I had parasites a few weeks ago. That blew me away. So she asked me to take this detox stuff that she recommended, and I could only tolerate half a bottle of it, and it just made me sick. It got my digestive tract all out of whack. So when I went back to her a couple of weeks ago, she told me the parasites were gone, and I told her about my experience with it. She said, "Well, is there anything that you did differently while you were detoxing?" And I
Okay,
said,
Margot,
"Yes,
can you hear me? This is Scott. Can
yes."
everybody please put their mute? This section is very, very important. There's a lot of moving around or rustling noise. If you can put yourself on mute, what she's saying right now is very important. Go right ahead, Margot. Sorry about the interrupting. We want to make sure everybody can hear this. Very important.
Okay, I'm going to mute all again and then just unmute Margot.
Whoever that is, just try to keep the rustling noise down a little bit. Go right ahead, Margot.
Okay, Margot, you should be able to unmute now.
Okay.
Please, everyone, if I have to keep muting all, it really makes it hard. So please keep yourself muted during the presentation.
Yes, we're about to get into cat's claw, so go right ahead,
Okay,
Margot.
go ahead, Margot.
Okay. Anyway, I found this cat's claw, as I said, through Anthony William and his website, Medical Medium, and he just raves over it. You may want to go back to that second slide, Tish. He raves over cat's claw, and what it does is it helps to boost your immune system, and it gives you a lot of energy, and you can go and read about it on your own. But anyway, my chiropractor said, okay, you don't have the parasites anymore, so let's go back and figure out what it was that you did differently while you were detoxing, since you had such a bad experience with it. I said I eliminated the cat's claw, and I did. She didn't tell me to. But anyway, my stomach has returned to normal, and my poop, is well formed like it was prior to the detox. So, the moral of this story is be careful with the detoxification. I have just, gained so much confidence and trust in this chiropractor that, basically, if she told me to take, something that wasn't good for me, probably I would have. I just trust her. So I should have probably done more research on the detox that she gave me. It was my first experience with it. And, Tish warned me. She said, make sure you read and research before you put anything in your body. But anyway, I'm back to normal, but please give the cat's claw a try. Read about it on Medical Medium. Physical therapy and seeing a chiropractor, even during the stay-at-home pandemic, not with the PT, they eliminated it, but the chiropractor continued to see me. Movement is extremely important. Don't just sit in the chair all day and do nothing. Now, some days I know we feel that way, but it's important to move. What I've been doing for my mind, oh boy. When I was in full health, if I got angry or upset about something, the way that I would deal with it would be to take a long walk, or to, go clean up a bathroom or housework. We wives and mothers know all about that, do tons of laundry. But, when you have this disease and your movement is very limited, your mobility, you have nothing to do but think, and you overthink. And the mind plays such a pivotal role in reversing this disease, I think. So I had to change my mindset. It's a work in progress. And I didn't realize how badly I needed to do this until I got sick. So I've been doing a lot of prayer. Holy Communion helps. If you don't believe it, go to Joseph Prince and his website. He's a televangelist, and there's a lot of testimonies about how Holy Communion has reversed other diseases. A lot of self-help books have been very helpful, like the 4 Agreements. I've always been hypersensitive by nature. So when I read that book, what stuck with me was the part about don't take anything personal, because that was a big problem with me. I've always felt people were being judgmental towards me, and that stems back to my childhood, because I did actually experience a lot of that from family members. I had issues with being unforgiving. I felt like if I gave 100% to you, I expected it back. Bottom line is, everybody's different, and people are not always going to love you in the way that you feel you need to be loved. So if they're giving their best and their intentions are honorable and you have a good relationship that's healthy, then that's all you can expect. You have to love yourself first. Minimize contact with negative people. I always considered myself a nice person, so even if you were negative and I was doing all of the giving and you were doing all of the taking, I kept you in my camp, so to speak, just because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. But now I've released those negative people. I've taken some extended breaks also from social media to drown out the noise, because as you know, on social media, there's a lot of negativity. I haven't been on any social media in 30 days, and I said I was going to just do this for 30 days, and now I think I'm going to extend it to another 30. It feels wonderful, because the only voices I'm hearing are the ones I choose to hear. It's hard to keep up on the social media with birthdays and all of this other stuff, and ultimately it's a distraction. Our goal right now is to focus on getting well. And I'm also trying to increase mindfulness. I do a lot of prayer meditation, but I want to do some additional meditation. I'm also very careful about what I'm watching on TV. Me and my husband have had a lot of fights about that during the stay-at-home pandemic on Netflix. He likes Westerns. I just don't like violence on television. And I didn't realize how it could affect your mind until I got sick with this disease. It's just not healthy. I'm more now of a Mary Poppins kind of girl. So anyway, all of that plays a role in your mind and what you're thinking about. And now I'm getting ready to try some additional meditation techniques and not just limited to prayer. So there are a whole lot of people out there that are doing that. And so that's my story.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Margot. I'm going to I'm going to share a little bit more again, because I got one more thing to show before we start the Q&A. So share, hopefully I'll find this Word document. Okay. So just to get a conclusion, okay, do the research, do the work, apply the documents that you're reading. Read the documents more than once. You might want to revisit them in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. You are the president and CEO of your team. You decide. Your team is your advisor. Do not just do everything. I don't care if your spouse is like the most knowledgeable person ever. You need to be comfortable with what you're doing. You need to make the decisions. If you're not comfortable, do more research. Start small, add slowly. Healing ALS takes time. Stephen Bishop took 8 years before he was able to turn around his ALS. He still is limited, but he can go play golf now. There's a lot of things that he can do. So Stephen Sherry, 6 years before he turned it around, and now he's climbing mountains. Manchester, it took him 5 years, and he's not all the way better yet, but he's getting there. There are some tried and true principles. Feed the body with clean, healthy food, supplement, correct your vitamin deficiencies, build your immune system, create a healthy gut and liver, detoxify slowly, take care of your mind, meditation, prayer, mindfulness, release negative notions, and stay positive. There is not one answer to ALS. Okay? These 30 people did it on their own. They can do it, so can you. Each person is individual. Each person will have different solutions. Some people are more complex than others. Some people may be able to get turned around in a year. Other people, it might take them 5 years. So don't compare, because it's your journey, and however long it takes, it takes. Decide to be one of the 100 ALS reversals from this group by 2022. Scott already talked about your responsibility every week. Your homework for this week, please share these Sunday meetings with your ALS groups. Please review the Where Do I Start document, review the Find a Medical Professional document, and continue with last week's assignment. Homework for last week, so since this is last week's assignment, you're going to spend at least an hour a day researching ways to heal ALS, and study ALS reversals, start reading past blogs, find more reversals, and if you happen to be available tomorrow, please attend the volunteer meeting. So I think we're ready to open it up for Q&A.
And also, I do want to mention, take a look at the videos. I've posted, lots of videos on YouTube with pals, their reversals, their stories. And so you can go by each one, including Dr. Joyce Brown. She has a lot up there. Stephen Sherry goes into detail of every step that he did. And so just take a look at those videos also.
Okay, so everyone should be muted now except for Gabby Faye. Please unmute yourself. And Gabby Faye's mother was diagnosed with ALS, I think in either 2018 or 2019, and she will be doing our Q&A today.
It was May of 2018. Is that possible? Yeah. No, a year. Last May, 2019. Okay. First question from Laura Rodolph. Can those diagnosed with familial ALS please let me know? I'm interested in knowing how many have familial versus sporadic. So if you have familial, I guess if you'd like to private message Laura, you can do that and you guys can connect that way. Okay.
And also, just to let you know, there are familial people who have reversed ALS. Butch Macklin was one of them. He has since passed away, but that really had not a whole lot to do with his ALS, the reason he passed away. But just to be very clear, familial is absolutely reversible.
Thank you. Okay, I'm looking for next questions. Oh, so Vera asked, what is the homework? I know that you just shared it on the screen. Is it possible that maybe we can put it up on the Facebook group or it'll be on the website so people can revisit it?
Yes, we will post it on the website by Wednesday. Normally I'll try to do it before Wednesday. Just this is our first time, so it's taking us a little bit, but absolutely we will post your homework.
Right, and then Vera and everybody else, we're working on getting a volunteer committee set up. So at some point we'll have someone posting the homework to Facebook and people kind of doing other things. So Patricia and Scott aren't doing everything themselves. Okay, so thanks for your patience while we're working on that. Okay, from Lynette Polari. How much B12 per day, I guess, was recommended, or did you say before?
Okay, so this is from McFinn's naturopath. He said, I think the reference range is 200 to 1100. And what he said was that if you're not in the 700 or 800 range minimum on B12, you don't have enough tools to really regrow new neurons. So we spoke to 2 people with ALS. I spoke personally to 2 people with ALS in the past week. Both had been taking sublingual B12 for some time. Neither of them were able to increase their B12 that way, and both are in the process of getting prescriptions for B12 shots once a week. So again, speak to your holistic medical practitioner. This is based on information that we've gotten on how to get your B12s up to a level. You may need B12 shots.
Okay, thank you. Another from Laura Rodolph, and I apologize if I'm saying anyone's name incorrectly. I'm doing my best. So for D3, I was listening to a show today that said D3 does not absorb well, so they pushed their powder form. Do you have thoughts on that?
Again, I'm not a medical professional, but from what I read, I think you can mix D3 with K, a few other things. Again, do your research on D3 absorption. So that's what I would suggest everyone do. Google D3 absorption. And there are things that you can mix with the D3 to make it more absorbable. And different practitioners are going to have different opinions. So do your research, decide who you think is the most credible, and go with that.
And Tish, one technical thing, you seem to be getting lower and lower with your volume. Can you either pop on a headset or raise your volume, please? Thank you.
Okay. So here's one. This is from my mom, Anita Barron. I purchased both alpha lipoic acid and TUDCA, both in capsule form. I cannot swallow capsules, so tried both in my smoothie. The lipoic acid burns, and the TUDCA tastes beyond disgusting in a smoothie. Any suggestions? And I guess if any other pals or family members know answers to this, you can type it in, and I'm sure I'll get there.
My suggestion, and I do this with my magnesium because I take liquid magnesium, Remite and Remax, and it tastes awful, like totally disgusting. So I put it in there, I add a little bit of water, I drink it like a shot,
You do it
and
in
I have
shot
a
form.
chaser right there with water so I can clean it out. So I just do it super quick. So you might want to mix it in with water, take it like a shot, and then drink your smoothie, have it all ready to go so you can get the taste out of your mouth.
I
But
think
you do not want it to burn, though. You don't
Right.
want it to burn.
I think it's hard to swallow. Like it's hard to swallow liquids quickly. That's part of the issue.
So experiment. Find a way. And actually, Anita, why don't you come back next week, or anybody else come back next week and see if you have a suggestion. Does anyone in the community have a suggestion on that? Find something to mix it with so it doesn't burn. I wonder if coconut oil might work. I don't know whether that would interfere with the absorption. But again, experiment and make sure whatever you're mixing with won't interfere with absorption. Again, this is up to you. You take charge of your health. Google is amazing. The internet is amazing. You guys can find reversals. One of the things that I find, go ahead.
Tisha, this is Dr. Shell. Just wanted to chime in on the D3. Mixing it with K2 will be great, and that's the best way to absorb the D3. A lot of products are available with the combination, and that's what would increase their absorption. And with the methylcobalamin, if they're entertaining the injection, 25,000 micrograms is what's being studied right now, even at Mass General. But my patients, we just give them 25,000 at least twice a week of the methylcobalamin. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Shell. Dr. Shell, that is very helpful. Really appreciate you piping in there. Again, we're not medical professionals. We just do our best, and you need to do your own research and work with your own medical professional. But how nice it is to have Dr. Shell here. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay, I think this is just a suggestion from Kathy Maves that Joe Dispenza is excellent and has good meditation videos in case anyone is interested in starting working on meditation. Next question is from Smita. We don't have functional medicine doctors in the UK. What should we do?
Okay, actually, there are functional medicine doctors in the UK. You need to find them. They do exist. I've actually spoken to some. So there are holistic practitioners. It might be a chiropractor. It might be a herbalist who studied a lot of functional medicine, but there are definitely holistic practitioners in the UK. So do some searching. Secondly, one of the things that impresses me, if you watch Stephen Sherry's video, and that's at Healing Advocates YouTube channel, he has a part 1 and a part 2. He managed to reverse ALS completely on his own. Now, it took him 6 years. I think if you have a holistic medical professional, it'll go a little bit faster. But he was able to do it on his own with no testing, experimentation, a lot of mind-body techniques. So don't think that you can't do it on your own, but England definitely has some to help you out. understand this is a partnership. It's like a 50-50. If you're not putting at least 50% of research into this partnership, if you're depending on your holistic medical professional for 80% and you're only doing 20%, based on our experience with PALS reversals, it needs to be 50-50 on the physical and almost 190-10 on the mind-body. So your responsibility is 50% or more.
Okay, and that's a really good segue into the next question, which is also from Laura Rodolph. My husband is not very participatory in this. Do I still continue? This is his health and recovery. I cannot do it for him, so unsure if it's pointless for me to continue.
Great question. Thank you. So, I wish Kim Cherry were here. He said, when we first spoke to him in 2014, he said, look, I didn't believe any of this stuff. But Kay just kind of kept needling me, and Kay was the one that did the research at the beginning. Kim then came on board later. So I would say keep doing your research, make little deals, and say, do you mind watching this video with me? There's a 20-minute Stephen Sherry video that's excellent. That's Stephen Sherry Part 1 on the Healing Advocates YouTube channel. Just get him interested. Kim's final decision was, hey, and he really didn't want to stop eating bread. He just finally said, look, if I don't at least do something, he felt it was his duty towards Kay to at least try. They were married for, at the time, over 30 years, and he felt it was his duty. You know what? At least I'm going to try. That way, he said, look, if I die, at least I'll say I've done everything I can. And at the beginning, he did not believe he would get better. McFinn didn't believe he would get better. A friend of his said, if you don't make an appointment with this naturopath, I'm going to call you every single week until you do. And he decided he didn't want to deal with it. So he went to the naturopath as a total non-believer. And slowly but surely, listening to the naturopath, started believing him. So you have to work out between you and your husband, but great comment. You can't do anything for him. It's up to you. You do what you can. If he's not on board, that's all you can do. If he chooses not to try and he chooses, there's nothing you can do. It's kind of like an alcoholic. If they choose to keep drinking, there's nothing you can do. You can just support him in any way you can.
Thank you. Lisa Para asks, should one try to exercise to build muscle?
Again, our experience is with looking at 30 ALS reversals, is in general, you should exercise. That even if you can't exercise, PT is extremely helpful. And PT exercises at home that your caregiver, spouse, children, siblings, neighbors can help you with, is going to help. So go to the PT, get some exercises to do at home. Don't overdo it. If you overdo it, then again, this is based on listening to pals that have reversed this. If you overdo it, you will know by the next day because you will be weak and you'll say, I overdid it. So you kind of have to take a feel for how much you can handle and then add a little bit. If you do too much, then back off the next day.
And if you had fasciculations when you're overdoing it, those fasciculations can come back. So you have to be very careful with that exercise. And I would emphasize mild exercise. Do not overdo it.
Jane.
Okay. This question's from Kim Messervy for Margot. Margot, can you mention some of the Chinese supplements? Any suggestions on improving constipation and bowel movements?
I wish I had been prepared to answer the question on the supplements because I have them, but they're not where I can see them, and I don't try to remember the names of them all, specifically the ones that the chiropractor has suggested that I use. But I do take B12. I take vitamin A. I take vitamin E. I take vitamin C. I take aura lipoic acid. The ones that she suggested, I take a tincture in the form of Tumero, and that's a form of turmeric, which we all know helps with inflammation. I also take, of course, the cat's claw, and she's got me on a new one that's a tincture, and it's I think it's a bio reversal. And she said that this helps to build muscle, because I've got a lot of muscle wasting in my hands particularly. It's real bad, especially between my index finger and my thumb. So I take that, and you take about 6 drops, 5 days, and you're off 2 days, and I've got several more, but I just don't have the names in front of me. About the bowels, I can't tell you. I've asked her, I said, which one of these supplements are bowel specific? And she said none of them are really bowel specific. But all I can tell you is, since I've been taking the supplements that she suggested, I have been, like I said, more regular than I've ever been in my life. And if I'll try to ask that question, pose it to her when I see her again next week, but I'm sure the answer will be the same. But if I find out any additional information, I'll be happy to share it at another meeting. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes, and Margot,
Yes.
you mentioned that cat's claw. I do have some cat's claw here, and this cat's claw is gluten-free and alcohol-free. So you have to kind of be careful which one. This one's by Nature's Answer. Have you had a particular brand that worked better for you than others?
I've only had one brand. Just a second, and I'll ask my husband to bring it to me. Just a second.
Okay.
Can you please bring this cat's claw to me?
I think the most important thing also is don't feel like, this is one opinion. There might be better brands of cat's claw. Read the reviews. Eventually, on our knowledge base, which I'll be introducing in a few weeks, there's going to be a place for everybody to chime in on what their favorite supplements are. So I think that's going to be really neat. But that's it's a while away, but we're working on it.
Okay, Scott, I found it, and even though she did not suggest, I'm talking about my chiropractor now, that I take this, she sells it. So after I found out about it through Anthony William and his medical medium, then I got it from her. It's UDZ, and it's cat's claw bark extract, and it does not have any gluten in it either. So this is the brand I've been using. And it's a tincture.
Great, fantastic. I just wanted to emphasize that, because you could end up getting some cat's claw with gluten, but it's important to have the gluten-free. Thank you.
All of her supplements are gluten-free, so yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Someone asked, what are supplements?
Another name for supplements is vitamins and minerals and herbs. They're all supplements. That means they're non-pharmaceutical. They're over-the-counter, and they're generally natural, made of plants and natural materials. There are whole food supplements, like whole food vitamins and synthetic vitamins. In general, whole food supplements are better if you can possibly get them. And sometimes you need to take synthetic temporarily, but if you can get whole food supplements, that is definitely the preferable way.
And you can also usually find them in capsule, pill, or liquid form. So depending on what's easiest for you to take.
Yeah. Generally, we try to avoid capsules because of additives. Usually to create the capsule, there needs to be additive. Caplet, avoid caplets. Capsules are fine and liquids are fine in general.
Be careful with some of them. They might have fillers also. So be careful with what you get.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. Nice to see you. Hey. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Smita asked, I'm not sure if this was also for Margot, but possibly, what specific diet changes did you do?
Oh, I don't eat any pork anymore. I tell you a funny story. My husband's a great cook, and on Thanksgiving of this past year, he baked the, usual annual ham. And his ham will melt in your mouth. So I cheated that day. I said, well, it's Thanksgiving, and I ate a big plate full along with the potato salad and all of the other trimmings. And the next day, I could not lift a finger. So that was my lesson about pork. I had to learn the hard way. So no pork, very little sugar. I still drink a little orange or pineapple juice, and I know there's some sugar in that. I stopped drinking coffee because I would always have sugar in it. I don't do any processed foods. I do everything gluten-free. I still eat a little beef, but I tell my husband to make sure he buys organic. For the most part, he does. Sometimes he may make a mistake with that. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables daily. And I don't eat any corn anymore. And I used to love corn on the cob. No more corn. And, all of the other don'ts that they say that we should not be doing as far as our diet if you have this disease. And at first it's real hard, but you kind of get used to it. And I love watermelon. And also, let me just add this. Go by the way you feel after you eat something. And you'll know if it agrees with your body or not. Listen to your body. Like that ham talked to me the day after. And watermelon, whenever I eat watermelon or eat oranges, I feel great afterwards. So I know that these, fruits are agreeing with my body.
Thank you, Margot.
You're welcome.
And then just to add, because Smita, I see that you have some more questions coming up about diet. Margot mentioned that she follows a lot of medical medium advice, and that's Anthony Williams. So he has a lot of recipes, blogs. He has 7 books out. So if you're interested in changing her diet, Margot, I think sounds like you got some of your information from him. And I know a lot of pals follow him too.
Yes, some of it I have gotten from him. I like Anthony. And I was doing the celery juice. That's something that I haven't done lately, but I intend to restart with the celery juice too. That made me feel real good. I like celery anyway. Sometimes I'll just eat it in its regular form, but the juice is great. But you have to make sure you use a juicer. We started with a blender, and that I found out from a lady that I met. She was a doctor, I think, at the Salt Lake City conference, and she said, oh no, don't do that. You'll hurt yourself if you're using the blender with the celery. So, use the juicer. So, yeah.
Good information.
And some juicers can be a little complicated and a little hard to clean. Tish, can you elaborate on a good, easy-going juicer that pals can have so it's not so cumbersome?
We use the Omega 8006 juicer because I can clean it in about a minute. This is our 3rd juicer. The first 2 were way too hard to clean, so stop using them. And the Omega works really well. Was recommended to someone who went to Mexico to a cancer clinic. It's about $300 and definitely a good one. And the other thing is certain things you want to blend, certain things, the celery juice you definitely want to juice. And the idea with juicing is it concentrates the nutrients. And it does remove the fiber, so in a way it makes it a little bit more absorbable. But the blender has advantages too. So we use our Vitamix for blending. But again, you guys have to do the research. What do you want to juice? What do you want to blend? And Medical Medium has some really good suggestions on that as well.
He also has a whole blog post and an hour-long voice recording specifically about ALS and supplements that he recommends. And I can put that link. I think I did it before, but I can do it again today. I can put that link in the group chat when I'm done answering all the questions for you guys, or asking them. Sorry. Okay. Good. Thank you. Karen Filmoni asks, how can a chiropractor know if you have parasites?
Was that question directed to me?
It may be if you I think you spoke about it. So sure, if you know the answer.
Yeah. Well, I asked my chiropractor the same question. The name of her practice is called Hands-On Healing, and she's very hands-on. I sat up there on the table, and she examined me, and her hands were all over my body, and she said, "Your immune system is down today." And then she kept examining me, and then she told me, she said, "You have parasites." And I said, "What kind?" She said, "I can't tell you that." She's always very honest. Now, I can't tell you how she knew, but I believe when she said that I did, because I had not been feeling well at all for a couple of weeks. And like I said, she uses, uses Chinese medicine techniques, and they call it for short, Qi. And so, you'd have to do your research. I've done a little bit to find out exactly what that entails. But I know she's got a whole lot of customers and clients and patients, and her reviews are excellent, both in person and online. So, whatever she's doing, it's working for us. But I can't answer that question specifically how she.
So, Margot, she used the Qi machine in order to see if you had parasites?
No, she was just examining me then. What she uses the Qi machine for is to, and I wasn't able to hold it initially when I first started going to her, but I can now. And, they'll lift your arms up in the air and decide, they'll have the medicine maybe on your stomach or someplace on your body, or the supplement, not the medicine, just to see, if your arms go way up in the air, then that means that your body likes the supplement. If the arms fall down, sometimes she uses her assistant to help if I'm not feeling good. And then that means that your body doesn't like it. And every 2 or 3 months, I take in all of my supplements to her, and she retests me on them. And, she may say, "Okay, well, you don't need this right now. Your body doesn't like it." And she said, "But don't throw it away. Maybe in another 2 or 3 months, your body will like it again." And, I like that too, because, you sometimes, your body's changing all the time, I imagine, especially with a disease of this nature. So that's how she does it.
That's a really great point. Just because a supplement isn't working or you're not ready for it now doesn't mean you won't be ready for it in 6 months, or it might start working at 6 months. So just your body's changing as you're healing. As you're starting to correct certain deficiencies, it's going to be ready for a certain supplement at a certain time. And we're going to talk on another week about intuition and how to get a little better handle both on the testing and the intuition. By the way, this is Anthony Williams' blog. You can find it on healingals.org. I'm going to show you how I got here for those of you who weren't following. We have all of our old emails here. So some of these are recent posts, but like back here, there is actually an Anthony William here. There it is, Anthony William on ALS and Sally's Story. So that's how I found it. Again, with the new website, this is going to be way, way better and way easier to navigate. For right now, we're stuck with our current website. These are some of his books. He has 5 books out. This was back in 2018.
I think it's 7. Or 6. He just came out with a new one.
Yeah, I think he has 6. You're right. Absolutely. So just so you know, there are a lot of information at this website and on the other websites we mentioned. Please explore, work your way through all the websites. And some of the information you're going to like, I'm putting this away for later, but let me just kind of remember it's there. So when you're ready, there's a lot of information at different places.
Tish,
great questions, everyone.
Just to intervene a little bit about that. Qi machine kind of sort of the how do you know if you have parasites or not. Some or all naturopaths will do muscle testing. The applied kinesiology is what it's called. And it runs in the same guideline of what she was talking about. You put your supplement on you and they do muscle testing to figure out what's good for you and what's not, as well as figuring out if you have parasites or not.
And I didn't mention it, but you're right, because the chiropractor that I see is an applied kinesiologist. So that's exactly right.
Very good.
Thank you.
You want me to keep going?
Yes. Oh, so it's 2:19. Just to let you know, we are going to stop. Or 2:30. I'm in Mountain Time. We will be stopping in about 10 minutes. We're always going to stop at an hour and a half. Don't worry if we didn't get to all your questions, because guess what? We're back again next Sunday. Next Sunday is going to be a special treat. We're going to have Carol on, and she was diagnosed with ALS in 2005, I think. So she's going to be doing a presentation next week, and we're going to limit it to an hour. It is Father's Day, but feel free to invite family members. Let them support you on Father's Day. Whether you're the pals, you're the supporter, let's take some time out and spend some time with our family member and let your family members learn a little bit about this. So we have about 10 more minutes, so continue, please.
Okay, great. And I'm actually also wondering, is there a way for us to take these questions for our volunteer committee so someone can answer them?
Absolutely. So there's two things I would love people to do. Yes, ask your questions. If we don't get to all the questions, hopefully we can answer them by one of our volunteers. Great idea. The other things, I would like a vote. I wasn't quite organized to do a full. Please vote whether, last week we did a webinar format. This week we're doing a meeting format, so you can kind of see who else is online. So I'd love a vote on just a tentative, who likes the webinar format better, who likes the meeting format better. So just put it in the message box. We will take a look at the end. So go ahead, Gabby.
I don't know if everybody knows that. Can you just say the difference between the two?
Okay, so the webinar format, if you go to the top right corner, you can do a gallery view and you can see everybody who's online. You can see the names, so you can kind of start getting to know the community. Webinar format, you cannot tell who is on. The advantage of webinar format, it's a little bit more professional because people can't unmute themselves after I mute them. In a meeting format, people can unmute themselves. So I think this is a nice way to promote the community a little bit. People can share and unmute themselves. You can see if they put their video on, you can see what they look like. But webinar format, you cannot see all the people that are on. I mean, I can, but you guys can't. So just put in your vote, and we might try some of one, some of the other, and decide after another couple weeks when everyone likes better. Thank you, Gabby Faye. Good question.
Sure. Okay, another question for Margot. What was the first thing that reversed for you?
Let's see.
Margot, why don't you unmute your video if you want?
No, I don't, and you
know
know
that's
why.
okay. You don't have to.
You know why? Oh, can I make that point? Last meeting I didn't unmute it because, as I said, my hair is a mess and it's still a hot mess. Let me tell you, I am in search of a new hairstylist. I had an appointment for this week, and guess what? I asked the question. I said, "Are you wearing a mask?" She said, "No." I said, "You aren't?" She said, "No." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't see you." She says, "I can't breathe with those things on." So I am looking for another hairstyle. But my granddaughter is coming back to see me again, and she'll probably hook me up. Anyway, what was your question again?
What was the first thing that started to reverse for you?
My hands and my feet, they got stronger. My core got stronger because when my hands hurt, then they were so brittle, along with my feet, I just had no energy. So I would say my hands and my feet, and just feeling better overall. That's not to say I didn't have any bad days. I had a lot of them, but I began to have more good days than bad days. And then, of course, after that, it was, going to the bathroom every day. That really, really made me feel better. It makes anybody feel better. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Tish, can you recommend, this is from Leah Deveral, what type of magnesium would you recommend?
Our two favorite magnesiums right at the moment, and there may or may not be. I think there is that's in the Where Do I Start document. I like Carolyn Dean's Remite and Remax. Remite is a mineral supplement, and Remag is a liquid magnesium, and that's based on a friend of mine who had restless leg syndrome for 20 years, and her husband's a medical doctor and tried probably a dozen different kinds of magnesiums in a pill form. She happened to be at my house one day, and she got caught in a snowstorm, so she had to spend the night, and she said, "Oh, I need my magnesium." I said, "Just use mine." The next morning she said, "What was that? I didn't have any restless leg syndrome last night, and I slept like a log." And within 2 weeks, her restless leg syndrome was completely gone after 20 years of suffering about this. So I know this is good. Kay Cherry's favorite is also listed on the Where Do I Start document, which is, I forgot the name of it, but she feels that it's a better form of magnesium, maybe less absorbable, but includes things that might not be in the Remite or the Remag. So make your own decisions. Jigsaw magnesium is the one she likes. So I would say those are our top two based on experience. Eventually, with the new website, everybody will be able to chime in with their favorites. But those are our two favorites, and they are listed in the document. Oh, there's also transdermal magnesium, so you can experiment with those.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Kathy Mathis asked, I want to be a volunteer for 2 groups. Hooray. Who do I contact? That will be me. And my email address, wait, I'll put it in the chat box, is healingalsvolunteers@gmail.com. So this is for anyone that wants to be a volunteer. If you do, you can contact me. There's also a form that I'm going to have everyone fill out. So I'll put that in the chat box too. If you're interested, you can do either one of those things. Thank you for asking.
Great. Okay. And also, please come to the volunteer meeting. It will be, our Sunday meetings are at the same time every week. Volunteer meetings are the same time on Mondays, every 1 hour earlier every Monday. So just feel free to come. The link is at healingals.org, and you can just register for tomorrow and get on that meeting.
Awesome. Okay, I have to get back to where I left off. Okay, Vera asked, I'm wondering how many pals are military veterans. I started this journey with a blood disorder that morphed into ALS.
Lots.
Well, I don't know.
Lots are military veterans. I'm going to tell you that. Now, if anyone wants to include that in the chat, who is it that asked that, Getty?
That was Vera Gaetano.
Okay, so anyone can private message Vera and let her know that you're a veteran as well, but it's very common. Another issue is within the last 3 weeks, I have run into 9 people whose ALS, and this is just people that I happen to be talking to, whose ALS was actually triggered by a vaccine. In one case, a DBT vaccine, in 2 cases, a flu vaccine, in another, a tetanus vaccine, and another was they were going to a foreign country and it was a slew of vaccines. But be very careful with vaccines. In my opinion, if anybody I personally would never take a flu vaccine, especially because 2 people that I know's ALS started within hours of a flu vaccine. One of them, within a few days, had muscle cramping, fasciculations, and drop foot within days of a flu vaccine. This is really important. A friend of mine's father died from a flu vaccine. Of course, the cause of death wasn't listed in that, but this is last fall. He had symptoms within hours, and within 4 days, he was dead. So I'm very aware. My suggestion is get educated on the truth about vaccines and make your own decision. You really need to watch that Truth About Vaccines docuseries. So you can go to the truthaboutcancer.com and you can purchase the docuseries to see it. But to me, it's very important. If they try to mandate vaccines in the state of Utah, where I live, I plan to get a medical exemption.
And you can get on Ty and Shar's mailing list. I would do that so you can get up-to-date information. And also, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he has a lot of very good information on the latest and what's been going on with the vaccines and the bad science behind it. It is very important you know what is going into your body ingredients-wise. And a lot of those ingredients are hidden and hard to find, but before you put that in your body, know the ingredients that's going in your body with that, because you're not going through a filter. You're going directly into your vein, which is very important because your body's not able to filter out a lot of things. So know the ingredients of that, inoculation before you take it. Extremely important.
But it's not even that. It's that with nanotechnology, they're making the ingredients so small, and the adjuvants, they're binding with other adjuvants. It is crossing the blood-brain barrier in a way that it never did before. So there may be less of it listed, less of the ingredient listed, but it actually can be very, very dangerous. So you guys have to do your work. I'm going to tell you I'm not taking the COVID vaccine, but again, you're the president. It's your job to do the research. Please don't, this is not medical advice. I'm just saying what I would do, and you guys need to do the research.
Thank you. All right, Tish, it is 4:30, so do you want to, let's close off with the questions, and if you have any closing remarks, now would be a good time.
Okay, so thank you all for coming. Please put in the chat before we close the meeting. Please put in the chat your opinion as to the webinar versus the meeting format, and please put any other comments saying, has this been helpful? What you'd like more of? What you'd like less of? Just type into the chat anything you like, any feedback. Give it to us right now. It's actually easier for us to put it in the chat and get it now than try to go through individual emails later. So it would be very helpful if you guys could just type in what you want in the chat. I want to congratulate everyone for being here. This is a big deal. This is a step. Everybody that's here, we want you to get educated. We want you to, this is a step in your healing. It's a process, not going to happen overnight. You're not going to become a holistic person overnight. My level of knowledge is based on 10 years of research on my own, and Kate Cherry's knowledge is way more than mine. I think she's read 100 books. I've only read like 50 books. So she's better at this than me. So all of you, again, take responsibility for your own health. That's so important. And congratulations to every single person that's here. Really, really proud of everyone here. And this is just the beginning. We're hoping to make this every week, and slowly but surely you'll be getting more and more information the more you research.
And thank you
let's
very,
unmute
very
everybody.
much.
You guys, everyone can say hi, give you your
sure.
name and where you're from.
Yes, and we can go through, and if you would like to, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine.
Yeah, you can get off as well.
We love you all, and let's be in this journey together. Yes. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go speak. They can hear you.
Can you hear us? Bill and Julie
Yes.
Inc. from West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach, thank you.
Yes,
Great meeting. Good stuff.
I am Chad Bajibo from Manitoba, Canada.
Manitoba. Oh, good. Manitoba, Canada. Also, great.
Linda Willis from Beltsville, Maryland.
From Maryland, thank you. Hi.
I'm Steve. Hello, I'm Steve from Fayetteville, Georgia.
Steve, Fayetteville, Georgia. Thank you, Steve. Anyway, was that Samuel trying to talk? I just couldn't quite hear you there.
Yes, yes.
All right. Where are you from, Samuel?
From Germany, Saxony in Germany, yes.
Saxony, Germany. Woo.
Yes.
Wonderful. That's not too far from Stuttgart, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
400 kilometers.
Oh, okay. Nice. Anyone else?
Yes. Hello, Marcel Didden from the Netherlands.
The Netherlands. Hey, I love you. Now, weren't you on last week?
No, not last week, but I will be next week.
Okay, there was another group from the Netherlands last week that was on. So thank you very much. Netherlands are well represented. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lauren McCrae from Alberta, Canada.
Lauren, Alberta. Thank you, Lauren. Beautiful country
Lauren.
out there. Yes. Is that Danny? Wait a minute. Is that
Hi,
Danny? How you doing?
Danny Getzlaff from Morinville, Alberta, Canada.
All right. Nice to see you again, Danny.
Bob Johnson, Oregon, Ohio.
Hey, Bob, Ohio. Thank you.
Name's Bernstein from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
In Philadelphia. Thank you.
Hi, Smita from Southampton, UK.
From Southampton. Yes.
Yes, UK.
Thank you. Weren't you on last week also?
Yes.
Yes, Southampton last week. Great.
Yes.
Go right ahead, Victoria. You started to pop up there.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm from my home is ALS. We're from Slovakia.
And where were you from?
Slovakia.
Oh, Slovakia. Okay. Your volume was a little bit low. Go right ahead.
Sure. Hello.
Yes. Is that Dan?
This is Dan. Yes, we're
Okay,
from
yes.
British Columbia, Canada.
All right. Yes. Beautiful country over there.
Mathis from Long Island, New York.
Long Island? Okay. Yes.
Karine Marston from UK, Cambridge.
Oh, Cambridge. Yes. Nice. Thank you. Over the UK. Anyone else? Because we're about to wrap this up here. Anybody else?
Hi, it's Petros Milonas from London.
Petros from London. Thank you.
Hey, Fred.
Is that Freddie?
Hi,
weren't you
Scott.
on last week, Freddie?
Yeah,
Yeah, nice to see you again, Freddie. Yes. All right. Canada, nice to see you, Freddie. All right. Anyone else?
Karen. Jude.
Karen? Oh. Nice to see you, Karen. Yes.
Hello.
Anybody else before Tish signs us off?
Dorothea, Jude, go ahead, say hello again. Where are you from?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Montana.
Okay, and Montana. Yes. Wonderful.
And Lorraine, from Portland, Oregon. I met you all in Salt Lake City.
Oh, yes, from Portland. All right. That was a wonderful conference. We're going to be slowly working and building up to our next conference, and we will be looking forward to seeing you in our next conference also. At our next conference.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Dennis Foster
Yes?
From
Saskatchewan.
Oh, Saskatchewan country. Yes. Wonderful. That's great up there. Go ahead, Daphne. I didn't quite hear you there.
Newbern, Georgia.
Newbern, Georgia. Thank you, Daphne. All right. Okay.
Nova Scotia.
Okay, Angela.
Angie from Nova Scotia.
All right. Oh, nice to see you up there in Nova Scotia. Yeah. That's great. We spent some time up in Nova Scotia a few years back.
I met you at the conference.
Yes. Now be careful of the air up there in Nova Scotia because they usually call that the United States tailpipe because a lot of the mercury from the Ohio River Valley, from all those manufacturing plants, it channels right up, and that air stream, it'll catch a jet stream, and it'll go right into the lakes. That's why you find mercury in the lakes of Nova Scotia up there. Because that mercury gets airborne and it channels out through Nova Scotia. So be careful. I did a video on that a while back. I don't know if I have that still on YouTube. But it's very important.
I met you at the conference.
Oh, yes, that's right. All right. Okay, we're about to sign off here pretty quick. Does anybody else want to speak up and where you're from?
Can I ask a question?
Oh, Steve, go right ahead there.
Steve. Hi. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I have a question. You mentioned something about mercury from the Ohio Valley.
The Ohio Valley River, yes, that whole Ohio Valley River area.
I live right in the middle of the Ohio River Valley. So I need to find out more about what you just mentioned about mercury.
Definitely get you self-tested for mercury and other heavy metals, and we will be going over that in a few weeks on how to do that.
That's important that you're there to hear that detail too, because mercury is no easy feat to
yes, I
detox.
plan to be there.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes?
Yes.
Is this the 3 o'clock meeting that I got invited to?
Oh, we are in the wrap-up phases from our meeting earlier. Which time zone were you in, Daphne?
Eastern.
Oh, you're Eastern.
I came on before 3 and it was already going, so I didn't know what else to do.
No, that's perfect. We get on about, Scott and I will try to get on, open the chat, open about 15 minutes ahead of time so that people can chat as they come in, chat as you come out. We will try to start right at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific every single time. And that way, we can stick to you can stick to an hour and a half. So actually, I'm going to close now. We're going to end the meeting. Thank you, everyone. If you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself this week, it will be another week. But yes, this is the 3, and understand we're going to start a little bit early. We'll start right on time, but we might just say hello to each other at the beginning and at the end.
Okay. All right. And Bill, where were you from, Bill? I saw you pop up. Bill Bonnie, where are you from?
Yeah. Eastern Pennsylvania.
Oh, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Lots of love, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, we will see you coming up next week. The volunteers, whoever wants to volunteer and help out with this large group, we're going to have a meeting Monday. Okay? Tomorrow. And that time, Tish, on that meeting tomorrow is
It's right at healingals.org. Just click on the link, register, and the time is listed.
3 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Then I
for
wrote
the
it
volunteer
2
meeting.
p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow is 2 p.m. Volunteer meeting is a little bit early for the Europe people.
Oh, the Europe folks. Okay, I'm
so
sorry.
Sunday we made it a little later so that the people on the West
Working with
Coast
global
could go to
time
church.
zones is a feat, so I apologize. Okay.
Yeah. So the Sunday meeting we made it a little bit later so that the West Coast people could go to church. And on Mondays for the Europe people we made it an hour earlier.
Whatever. Okay. We love you all.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.